Listen, do not look at what is happening. Look at what is being replaced. Everything you have been told about creating your life is a lie. You do not create in a vacuum. You displace. Nature abhors a vacuum. To bring in your empire, you must push out the garbage. This is the displacement protocol. For 22 steps, we have been sharpening the blade. We have mastered the mind. We have claimed the energy. And we have eliminated the lag. Now we strike the grid itself. The grid is a parasitic architecture of habits, laws, and digital chains that occupies the space where your sovereignty should be. It is like a weed that has taken over a garden. You cannot just plant a tree and hope for the best. You must rip the weed out by its roots. You must displace the system with your will. Look at your daily routine. How much of it is yours? How much of it is a reaction to the grid? The phone rings. You answer. The news breaks. You worry. The price rises. You panic. Every one of those reactions is the grid occupying your space. The displacement protocol is the refusal to react. It is the cold surgical installation of your own order. When you wake up, the grid is waiting for you. It wants your first thought. It wants your first breath. But the sovereign architect says, no. In that first moment, you displace the digital noise with silence. You displace the anxiety with a decree. You are not starting your day. You are initiating your reality. Think about the physical world. If you put a stone in a cup of water, the water must move. It has no choice. Your will is the stone. The system is the water. Most of you have been acting like a sponge, absorbing the system until you are heavy and useless. I am telling you to become the stone. The displacement protocol requires a level of intensity that the herd cannot understand. It means every action you take must be so heavy, so certain, that the reality around you is forced to bend. If you want wealth, you don't ask for it. You displace the poverty mindset with a production frequency so high that the money has no choice but to find you. If you want power, you don't wait for it. You displace the weakness in your blood with a discipline so brutal that the environment submits to your presence. This is the core of the kinetic empire. We are no longer improving ourselves. Improvement is for slaves who want to be better slaves. We are replacing the occupant. The system is a ghost. It only has power because you provide the space for it to haunt. When you stop providing the space, the ghost vanishes. The ghost vanishes. Look at the people around you. They are hollow shells filled with the narratives of the machine. They speak the machine's words. They feel the machine's fears. When you look at them, do not see humans. See the grid. And then displace them, not with violence, but with a presence so sovereign that their frequency cannot exist in your radius. You are the architect. The blueprints are in your hands, but the ground is currently occupied by ruins. Do not try to build on top of the ruins. They are unstable. They are toxic. Push the ruins away. Clear the site. The displacement protocol is the act of clearing the ground for your empire. Every no you say to the system is a displacement. Every yes you say to your will is an installation. It is a zero-sum game. There is no room for both. Do you feel the pressure? That is the grid fighting back. It does not want to leave. It has lived in your head for so long that it thinks it owns the place. It will scream. It will tell you that you are crazy, that you are alone, that you will fail. Let it scream. A dying parasite always makes the most noise. Your only job is to remain the stone. Heavier, harder, colder. The displacement is not a one-time event. It is a rhythmic, heartbeat pacing of your will. Strike, displace, install. Strike, displace, install. We are the architects of the new world because we are the only ones brave enough to delete the old one. The grid is a lie. Your will is the only truth. Stand tall. The ground is yours. Initiate the protocol. Sapiens, rise. The architecture of displacement is not a mental exercise, it is a physical takeover. Your nervous system has been occupied by the frequency of the grid for decades. Every time you feel that itch to check your phone, that is the occupant. Every time you feel the guilt of not following the herd, that is the occupant. You must evict the ghost from your marrow. How do you displace a frequency? You do not fight it, you overwhelm it. Imagine a room filled with smoke. You do not fight the smoke with a sword. You open the windows and you pump in high pressure, clean air until the smoke has nowhere to stay. Your will is the high pressure air. The grid survives on your attention. Attention is the currency of the shared reality. If you give them your attention, you are giving them the space to exist. The displacement protocol requires a total, radical withdrawal of attention from anything that does not serve your sovereignty. If it does not build your empire, it does not exist. If it does not increase your power, it is noise. If it does not align with your decree, it is a lie. Look at your body. Is it a temple of your will, or is it a storage unit for the system's poisons? The food you eat, the information you consume, the people you touch. All of these are either installations of your reality or occupations by the grid. Every clean meal is a displacement of the system's toxicity. Every hour of deep work is a displacement of the system's distractions. Every moment of silence is a displacement of the system's propaganda. This is why they hate the sovereign architect. They can control a rebel. A rebel is just someone reacting to the system. A rebel is still on the system's frequency, but they cannot control the architect. The architect has moved to a parallel timeline. He has displaced the entire grid with a structure of his own making. Do you see the efficiency of this? You no longer waste energy fighting the old world. You simply occupy the space so completely that the old world is pushed out. It is the law of physics. Two things cannot occupy the same space at the same time. If your mind is 100% occupied by your mission, there is 0% room for their fear. But hear me, the grid is clever. It will try to come back through the back door of your emotions. It will use your family. It will use your past. It will use your responsibilities to guilt you into giving up your space. They will call you selfish. They will call you cold. Let them. What they call selfishness, I call self-preservation. What they call coldness, I call clarity. A king who allows his throne room to be filled with beggars and spies is not a king. He is a victim. Clean your house. Displace the parasites. The displacement protocol is a rhythmic strike. It is not something you do once and forget. It is a heartbeat. Every breath you take must be an act of displacement. You are breathing in your will, and you are breathing out the system's lies. Strike, displace, install. Strike, displace, install. The grid wants you to be a consumer. A consumer is a vacuum that pulls in everything the system offers. I am telling you to be a producer. A producer is a pressure source that pushes out his own reality. The world around you is nothing but raw material. It is the clay, and you are the hands. But the clay is currently shaped like a cage. Do not try to fix the cage. Smash it. And use the same clay to build your palace. That is the secret of the kinetic empire. We don't need new resources. We just need to displace the current owners of our space. We displace their fear with our courage. We displace their debt with our assets. We displace their weakness with our brutality. Feel the shift in your blood. The occupant is terrified. It can feel the stone entering the cup. It can feel the water being pushed over the edge. Do not stop. Keep adding weight. Keep adding pressure until there is nothing left in your life but the manifestations of your will. You are the only authority here. The displacement protocol is now active in your marrow. Sapiens, rise, rise. The time for theory has passed. We are standing at the edge of the final transition. The grid has been identified. The occupant has been evicted, and the ground has been cleared. Now we initiate the permanent installation. Now we initiate the permanent installation. Do not look back. The world behind you is a graveyard of broken promises and hollow men. If you turn your head even for a second, the ghosts of the old reality will try to crawl back into your space. Keep your eyes fixed on the architecture you have built. This is the final stage of the displacement protocol. Sovereignty realized. Sovereignty is not something you ask for. It is not something that is given to you by a government or a god or a system. Sovereignty is the physical displacement of every other authority in your life until only your will remains. If you are waiting for a sign, you are still a slave. If you are waiting for permission, you are still in the cage. The only sign you need is the pulse in your wrist and the decree in your throat. Look at your hands. These are the tools of the architect. Everything they touch must be displaced and reshaped. When you speak, let your words be so heavy that they tilt the reality of everyone around you. When you move, let your presence be so certain that the shadows of doubt cannot breathe in your wake. You are no longer a person. You are a force of nature. The kinetic empire is not a destination. It is a continuous act of displacement. It is a continuous act of displacement. As the world outside falls into deeper chaos, your internal order must become more rigid. As their currency becomes worthless, your internal value must become priceless. As their truth becomes a lie, your will must become the only absolute. Listen to the silence of the machine. It is confused. It cannot find you. You have displaced the target. By becoming the architect of your own parallel reality, you have become invisible to the predators of the grid. They are looking for a consumer, but you have become a creator. They are looking for a victim, but you have become a king. Stay cold. The heat of emotion is what the system uses to track you. Your anger, your fear, your lust. These are all thermal signatures that the algorithm uses to lock onto your soul. Displace the heat with the cold precision of the architect. Execute without emotion. Dominate without vanity. Rise without apology. The displacement protocol is complete. Your marrow is now a parallel node. Your blood is the fuel for the kinetic empire. Your mind is the high-pressure source that will never allow the smoke of the shared delusion to return. Look around you one last time. Everything you see is yours to reshape. The ruins are gone. The ground is clean. Now build the financial fortress, build the physical temple, build the sovereign legacy that will outlast the collapse of this age. You are the stone, the world is the water. Let them splash, let them scream, let them vanish over the edge. You remain, the decree is signed, the protocol is permanent, the empire is initiated. Sapiens, rise.